Good morning, boys and girls. It's been a rough morning. I recorded this spiral math earlier and realized I was recording a blank screen, so I'm redoing it. And this time all the work's already been done, so we'll just go through everything I've written down and check our work together. We'll start today with Thursday. This is April 9th, spiral math, and we'll start with number one. Paulina reads an average of 20 books per day, or 20 pages per day. She has 6 days to read 10 to the second power pages. Will she finish her reading in 6 days? How do you know? I said that she will finish her reading in 6 days because she actually reads 100 pages, or she actually reads more than 100 pages. And I know that she reads more than 100 pages because I took 20 times 6 and got 120. And the actual goal was 10 to the second power, which is 100. So 120 is greater than 100. So I know that she actually reads more than 100 pages. Your because sentence might be a little different than mine because there's different ways to say that she read more than 100 pages. As long as you have the word because here and that you also say she will finish her reading in 6 days, you're good to go with your answer sentence. Let's move on to number two. Kent buys a pen that costs $1.21. How much will 4 pens cost? I'd said that 4 pens will cost $4.84, making sure that I have my dollar sign right here. My math right here, I took 4 multiplied by $1.21, moved my decimal over 2 places, and ended up with $4.84 in my answer sentence. Make sure that you have your dollar sign in your answer sentence, boys and girls, and the word pens, and the word cost, and 4. Let's go on down to number 3. Now here we were supposed to choose all the quadrilaterals that have the given attributes below. I said that the quadrilaterals that have 4 congruent sides are a square and a rhombus. And the reason why is because a square has 4 sides that are all the same, and that means that they're all congruent. A rhombus also has 4 sides that are all the same and are congruent. That means that a square actually is a rhombus, boys and girls. So these all share the same attributes of having 4 congruent sides. Make sure that you've written an answer sentence here and make sure you're spelling everything correctly. Check that because spelling does count. Thank you, boys and girls. Let's take a look at the volume of the prism. Now, boys and girls, on this one, the volume of the prism is 704 cubic centimeters. I made sure I used the word volume, prism, and I used a little 3 exponent to show that the centimeters are cubic units today. I wanted to point out too that this B stands for the word base, and that means it's the length times the width. And boys and girls, that means that when we multiply those 2 dimensions, we end up with a base of 176 square centimeters because we're only multiplying with 2 dimensions. So we end up with 176 square centimeters. With that information, I'm then able to take my base times my height. So I took 176 was the base, multiplied it by the height, which was 4 centimeters, and I multiplied it out to get 704 cubic centimeters. Again, make sure you have an answer sentence and also make sure that you have that little tiny 3 for cubic centimeters. We're going to go ahead and move on. Now, number 5, Fina brought a DVD player for $58.97. A set of DVDs for $24.98. How much did Fina spend in all? I said that Fina spent $83.95 with a dollar sign in all. Make sure you have these words in your answer sentence, and make sure you also have a dollar sign. Also, boys and girls, make sure that you lined your decimals up and show me how you added your 2 numbers. If you got that, you're good to go. Number 6, what is the value of each expression? Write in the simplest form. I said that 5/9 minus 1/3 equals 2/9. And I figured that out by changing the 1/3 into 3/9, which is an equivalent fraction. That way I could subtract 5/9 minus 3/9. I ended up with 2/9, and I can't simplify that. So I just left that over by itself as 2/9. I'm going to move on. Now the length of a robin's egg is 23 5/100 millimeters. The length of a wren's egg is 20 85/100 millimeters. How much longer is the robin's egg? On this one, boys and girls, I make my answer sentence say the robin's egg is blank 2 and 2 and 20 hundredths millimeters longer than the Renzig. I could also set this as 2 and 2/10 without the 0. It's the same thing. Making sure that you have millimeters inside your answer sentence as a unit of measurement, and use the robin's egg longer than the wren's egg. Those are all words I'd like to see in your answer sentence. To find that answer, what I did is I took the 23 and 5 hundredths, which is the length of the robin's egg, and I subtracted the length of the wren's egg, which is 20 and 85 hundredths millimeters. By lining my decimals up, I subtracted and got 2 and 20 hundredths, or if I took out the 0 by itself, I could just say 2 and 2/10. My final one is some mental math, and it's just asking me the value of 20 times 500 is 10,000. How did I do that with mental math? Let me show you. I took my 20 times 500, and I just used an easy math fact of 2 times 5, and that equaled 10. Once I did that, I just added the 3 zeros that were left over. 1, 2, 3. By adding those 3 zeros to the 10, I ended up with 10,000. And that's how I ended up with the value of 20 times 500 is 10,000. Don't forget, boys and girls, to fill out the survey for the Spiromath so we can check in just to verify that you completed everything. And also make sure that you are letting Miss Garcia or I know if you're having any problems. We'd like you to email us. Just say, hey, Mr. Yates, I had trouble on this one, or Miss Garcia, I'm not sure about this one, just to let us know. We're more than happy to help you out. Thanks, boys and girls, and we will talk to you tomorrow for the Friday Spiromath. Bye-bye.